Hey, I'm finally able to have more than 8 hours of sleep. What's up? Is a culture detective here investigating your favorite albums, and today I'm going to be doing a quick album review. I don't know why I did that. On the new Navy Blue album, Ways of Knowing. So, Navy Blue, rapper, producer, I think, is back with a new album, Ways of Knowing, about a month ago, and I just listened to it a week ago, and I find myself really enjoying it. Navy Blue, while I'm not super familiar with his music, I've definitely heard his name here and there everywhere, and that's because he's actually worked with a lot of well-known artists like Earl Sweatshirt, Frank Ocean, and Mike. He is definitely one of the most consistent abstract rappers in the game right now. So we have the release of Ways of Knowing. Starting off, we have the album opener, The Medium, which is a moody tone setter with some dreamy, loose pianos and a very spiritual ending. And while it's not the most exciting or intriguing album opening ever, I still appreciate how dreamy it is, how it immediately brings us into the sonic world of this album. And then the second track, Chosen, is easily a highlight on the album. We have some beautiful soul and jazz samples, relaxing bass, and lovely keys, a tight drum beat, and some fantastic performances and lyrics from the man. The one sees the performances a bit scant, and the instrumentals are a little bit all over the place, especially with the hi hats and the keyboards and the key and the shaking percussions all sort of clashing into one another. Not really an amazing moment on the album. But following that, we have To Fall in Love, which is a very simple change in musical styles where Navy Blue essentially incorporates some reggae samples, and it's sweet and chunky, and I really like it. Lyrically, he, well, obviously raps about falling in love, and he does so with some amazing poetic expressions. Life's Terms features some dense spoken word tracks and these glistening, lovely instrumentals, and the following track Phases almost act as if it is an extension of the previous track, except instead of some glistening keyboards, we get some chipmunk soul samples, which is equally as much of an earworm as the keyboards, in my opinion. Following that, Kill Switch is a track in 3/4 time signature, and Navy Blue on this track raps about his own life and mortality. And this track has so much more of a West Coast flavor to it, which I really, really like. And following that, Window to the Soul, with its dreamy instrumentals and the lyrics about overcoming addiction and insecurity, is a pretty fantastic track. We also get a guest feature from Kelly Moonstone, who provides a pretty interesting spoken word verse. That being said, though, I don't think this track is that great or anything. I think that's kind of because in the entire track list, this track does come off a little bit more average and a little bit more tamed than other tracks in the track list, but it still stands well in and of itself. Freehold is a track where he talks about his emotional instability, and I love the more muted and slow paced instrumentals on this track. I think it really complements the lyrics well. And following that, we have Embers, which is a jazzy interlude, and I do think this is a very much needed instrumental detour on the album. I don't think musically or instrumentally it's that great or well composed or anything, but it's a very much needed interlude. Into the last leg of the album, first off, we have Pillars, where he gets personal by talking about his own grandfather with the watery keyboards. He sort of half raps, half sings on this track, and usually I'm not a huge fan when rappers do that, but I think he does so in a charismatic yet introspective way. And there's something hooky and catchy about it still, as abstract as this track gets musically. And Look in My Eyes is another solid, soulful, piano backed track. Finally, the album ends off with Shallow's Shield, which has the lovely, endearing voice messages from his parents and these gorgeous pitched flute samples. And he essentially raps about feeling grateful for his family, feeling thankful, which is really nice and heartwarming. So yeah, overall, this is definitely one of the most solid hip hop albums of the year. I really, I still remember a few years ago when I was struggling with abstract rap, and I would think the beats are too tame and not catchy at all. But really, it's albums like this that make abstract rap great. It is the introspective, yet relaxing, glistening, dreamy tone, but also the personal lyrics, the more intellectual side of the scene. So yeah, I'm giving the new Navy Blue album Ways of Knowing a light 8 out of 10. So have you listened to the new Navy Blue album? Comments below, let me know, subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching. Um, yeah.